Hello, and welcome to this week's WATcast with Will,
Tom,
and a surprise Pete.
So the what isn't working. Aurore is away giving birth to some sort of alien tentacle child.
Yeah, we understand that she was impregnated in a rare smelting accident, which has meant that she's needed to obviously remove the alien body. But yeah, she can't be here this week. Due to that. So we've drafted Pete. So Pete, you'll know from episode 5, Breaking Mags USA, and the catchphrase "Life, Death, Prizes," which we spotted on one of the magazines, which I absolutely enjoy immensely. This week we've got a number of different things that we could / may do. The first idea that we had, well, Tom, it was your idea, right?
I wanted to do choose your own adventure novels, and then I came across erotic choose your own adventure novels.
Now, when you say came across,
in every way that's possible, I came across.
So not just happened upon.
Both.
Okay.
Then I didn't know they were a thing. Apparently they're a thing. Will's had a look into it in a bit more depth.
I did some research.
Basically, one of the ones you came across, you said, was just such utter filth that you would struggle reading it out.
Wow.
Yeah, I actually had the browser windows open on my laptop earlier, and I put on 2 screens, and then realised the other screen came on, and they were on that screen. I was like, I should probably close all of that now that I'm at work. So there was just one that was. I just wanted to find the weirdest section. So when you go through Amazon, you've got like the breadcrumb trail of literature and fiction, and then within that erotica, and then within that choose your own adventures. Then within that there was like, I think there was a bit where it was like angels. So I thought, jackpot. People obviously believing in some interesting things to then write erotica about. But within angels, there was some book that was just, for some reason in the angel section, there's a lot of stepmom stuff. And I clicked on one of them, and there's all like on Amazon where it's like potluck of what's got a look inside thing.
Yeah.
And you're like, some of them have got a little preview. Most of them, if not all of the erotica books, have a look inside. Little like, we'll give you the first 3 pages because they're all £2, and why not? But it was dead dirty. It was just filth, where I was just like, this is just really, really descriptive, and it's a little bit uncomfortable, if I'm honest.
But with luck, you came across one
instead
that's dinosaur-based.
No, this isn't the dinosaur one.
I thought we were doing the dinosaur-based one. Like, this podcast is basically a dinosaur erotica forum at this stage. How are we not...
It's good to have a niche.
It's come up several times.
To, find your audience. No, I found one called Plot Your Own Course Through an Erotic Science Fiction Adventure. That's the subtitle. What Do You Give the Alien Who Has Everything? Which is an erotic novel by A. Regina Cantatis. It's just a remarkable pen name.
That's an unlikely real name.
Yeah, I don't think it is. Just to reassure you, though, in the license notes, this book is a work of fiction.
Oh, that's nice to know. This Choose Your Own Adventure book is a work of fiction.
All places, characters, and events are products of the author's imagination or are used fictitiously. What? So maybe Obama's in there. I don't know. So we've got that. That's one thing that we could do. We've also got the Bowl of Destiny's Child is always waiting. Do you want to just grab that, Tom?
Do you want to give it a rustle?
Yeah, give it a little rustle. Just
this has also got your Did God Become Man?
Oh yeah. So the other thing is Aurore's away giving birth to the alien
Destiny's Child.
The alien fetus means that we can talk about the Lord, and that she doesn't like us talking about His graciousness. I happened upon a leaflet in the street the other day called "Did God Become Man?" This is from the Islamic Dawah Centre International. It's an informative booklet. I had a bit of a flick through, and there's just some ideas, some teachings one that I came across that I thought was quite amusing.
You came across this one?
Again, located within the book. A number of synonyms involved. Was the God Spot, which I thought was interesting.
Is it similar to the G-Spot?
It's dissimilar. Right. In the sense that, I'll explain why. Scientists, in capitals, say, scientists believe they have discovered a God module. I mean, we know what's missing there. Godule, obviously.
In there.
In the brain, which could be responsible for man's evolutionary instinct to believe in religion. So let's just rewind that sentence. Evolutionary, they're fine with that, presumably. Yeah. Instinct to believe in religion. So, there's initial results suggest that the phenomenon of religious belief is hardwired into the brain. And that's the God module. A spokesman for Richard Harries, the Bishop of Oxford, said whether there is a God module is a question for scientists, not theologians. It would be surprising if God had created us with a physical facility for belief. He said, with a question mark on the end. As if they're like, we're not quoting, but maybe he said it. There's a fascinating book there. Did God have a son? There's a few questions answered. That's something we could delve into later, but I might save that one for an entire religious episode. I don't mean personally have a religious episode.
You're going to start speaking in tongues.
Yeah, but I might just lose my shit. What do you guys fancy? I mean, we've got the alien erotica. I think if it gets a little bit awkward, I would defer to the Bowl of Destiny.
I don't know why you're so afraid of awkwardness.
I'm not afraid of awkwardness. I'm just afraid of three guys just reading really graphic descriptions of alien porn.
This just sounds like a good time to me.
Okay, well let's delve into it. So this is a reading from What Do You Give the Alien Who Has Everything by A. Regina Cantatus.
Are we making decisions for the communally, or are we going to go in a...
That's a good question.
Do we need dice for this and a character?
This is what Will asked.
I did check. There's no dice involved.
How
is there not erotic D&D? There must be.
Don't ask that question. Of course there is.
We must be doing this in an episode. An entire campaign.
Campaign. The campaign of filth.
I volunteer to be dungeon master.
I mean, in the game or
in every sense possible.
Right. So let me just. I'm just going to preface this with what the general blurb for this book is, because I started reading it and I didn't know I was reading the book because it starts in a fucking retarded way. So I went back to Amazon, out of the Kindle app, back to Amazon, and read what it's about. Basically, there's a group of aliens who've landed on Earth. I think they're called the Imperators, and they're on this island. And I'm going to reveal where they are in the island in a minute because it's hilarious. And basically, whenever someone goes to try and contact them, they sort of disappear, they get taken over, kind of Body Snatcher style. It's not new sci-fi. I'm just going to preface that. It's bollocks. But then you, as the player of the Choose Your Own Adventure book, are a journalist who's been sent over there or been summoned by these aliens, and you've got a camera and you're reporting from this island that they've brought you to. Apparently, like that was the blurb, and I'm paraphrasing quite a lot because that was also as badly written. So the first thing that you encounter when you get into this Choose Your Own Adventure, and I don't actually what do you guys remember Choose Your Own Adventure books?
Oh yeah. I read far too many of those when I was younger.
Because I think I had two. I think one was the Super Mario one, which was the plot of Super Mario at that time when I was a child was fiction.
Do you jump underneath the block?
Yeah.
Yes or no?
Do you choose to pick up the flower? And then I had a Lemmings one as well, which was really weird because I don't even remember how that would work.
Less narrative than Mario.
Yeah,
I played an X-Men one that was written by somebody that had a dim awareness of what the X-Men were or what they did.
Was it Brett Ratner? Yeah, still going strong.
Fuck that
Yeah,
guy.
so I don't remember much about them because the ones that I had weren't plot heavy.
Well, generally, you get like a page and it ends with a quandary, and then depending on that quandary, you seem to have like a 1 in 3 chance of just ending up dead, basically,
Right.
on any particular page. But I'm guessing in this it's going to be you have a 1 in 3 chance of ending up blown.
Yeah, by an alien.
Yeah,
Let's be clear.
that kind of implicit.
So what kind of adventures did you have as a child?
I had several hundred fighting fantasy adventures, as they were
perfect.
called, which was Livingston and somebody else. These
Oh,
were the
right,
really,
okay,
really
yeah.
famous ones.
Yeah.
Although obviously only I read them because I'm just a massive nerd. But
Fair enough.
yeah, they're similarly structured. You just have a little page and then sort of weird, sketchy picture of a dwarf leering at you from the darkness, and you just make a choice whether you want to kick a dwarf or flee from the dwarf.
Right.
And then the top strat would be to sort of check the page ahead and then sort of flick through a few just to sort of see what might happen,
Right.
and then make sure you didn't die. I never
Okay.
played with dice or character sheet. I just presumed I won every single fight
Right.
because it just takes too long, really, doesn't it?
Yeah, most of the time, especially when you've got hundreds to get through.
Yes, exactly.
Just D&D for loners is what you're
Yeah,
saying.
pretty much. Yeah, it's for kids with no
So it's like
imagination or friends.
Pre-game text adventures,
Yeah,
but with pictures on the page.
yep, and somehow less interactive than even Zork, which is slightly terrifying.
Wow. You've just reminded me of that strong bad where he cannot get you flask, but it's going to be a niche reference. Anyway, so this book, as I said, what do you give the alien who has everything? The strangest title for any erotic fiction.
I mean, I'm presuming it's a phallus.
Yeah,
Right.
you give it whatever it tells you to, probably in any orifice. So the first headline is "Start Touring." Okay, I'm going to read this verbatim. The camera in front of you hovers mid-air. You have no idea what keeps it up there, or even what it's made of. The surface looks like translucent chrome, and beneath and beneath it are dark, whirling shapes and pale lights. No matter how you move, it stays about 3 arm lengths away from your head, swiveling around to catch the best view of whatever you want to record. That's another thing that worries you. How does it know what you want to record? It turns toward you when you begin a report, or when you want to make an important point, but at other times it seeks out the best subject in its and your line of sight, and homes in on it as well as any human camera person.
So this is a future human journalist who is confused by his camera equipment.
No,
at the
I
moment,
think
or is this-
It's alien camera
it's
equipment?
alien camera equipment.
But
But I feel like we're giving spoilers because that
Okay.
might be about to reveal. I'm not sure. I haven't read it. So let's find out. But I get the feeling that the confusion about the surface of it, whirling shapes and shit, sounds like it's alien technology. Just take a leap of
I
imagination.
don't think Canon make it.
No. Yeah. It's coming next year to Sigma. It's a lot more unnerving than a human camera person, though. You didn't ask for this device or even this assignment. You were given both together when the Imperators summoned you, and over 100 other reporters, to attend their first press conference. They asked for you all by name. How did they even know your name? You're just a junior reporter, not well known outside of a small fan base, and after today you might be known as only as a not quite nobody who became the Imperator's slave. Whatever they have planned for today, it's more than just a press conference. Still, you're professional, and you'd have taken this assignment even if it were a choice and not a command. You square your shoulders, look directly into the camera eye. Do they know the word lens?
I guess not.
And begin your report. So at this point, they've given you 2 options. And it's basically you're a man or a woman, because it says, "This is Mark Holland, reporting live for Global News Network." Or, "This is Elizabeth Kirkland, reporting live for Global News Network."
I've
I'm not prepared. Oh, for fuck's sake. So it's interactive, so it's HTML. Okay. This is the great bit about the island. I'm on the final leg of my journey to the Seychelles. Once the most exclusive island resort on the planet. Was it? I mean,
I thought Branson's little rock was.
the Seychelles, I'm sure, are nice. Are they most exclusive resort?
I don't know. I'm not an island expert. I would have thought New Caledonian's probably up there.
Right, okay. Once the most exclusive resort on the planet, now home to the man and woman who... the writing again. Now home to the man and woman who rule that planet. What? Thousands of others live here too. Once they were kings and queens and politicians, models, performers, soldiers, and the pre-existing resort staff of Mahe Island. Now they're only slaves. I'm travelling west towards Mahe, and so far the island looks just as it always has. Jagged green mountains, turquoise water, and cosy-looking villages. But looks can be deceiving, even though the Imperators live on the opposite side of those peaks. They control the entire island as thoroughly as they control their own backyard. You might say Mahe itself is their backyard. In fact, you add silently, you might say the other people on Mahe are their pets. Just with the controversy. There's the problem with this book is there's quite a lot of exposition to get to the choice. I'm going to keep reading until the next choice just to see. Okay,
can we fast forward to the fucking?
There's a bit about jamming in a minute. It might be related, but it might not. Soon we'll be approaching the beach where the Navy SEALs came ashore. I'm sure you all remember that footage. And once we round the northern edge of the island, we'll get our first look at some of the terraces where the slaves appear. Every day, at least a few of the Imperator's pets stroll out from under the jamming fields. Oh, sorry. Some set off on errands such as fishing or driving down to nearby villages for supplies. Others just pose. Weird. You haven't seen an Imperator, though, since the disastrous raid. You're not sure why they're hiding, but it isn't out of fear. Earth has no weapon that can hurt them. Stephen Dominic and Julia Alexander still look human enough, but they are not human. I assume they're meant to be famous people in the canon of this piece of shit. They aren't even the people they used to be. The International Space Agency vets its recruits as thoroughly as any organisation on the planet, and if Alexander and Dominic had shown tendencies towards megalomania, they'd never have been admitted to the program. But here they are now, dominating the world and mocking every attempt to overthrow them. You think again about the harem slaves displaying themselves or being displayed so proudly. It hasn't escaped your attention that every reporter the Imperator summoned is young and telegenic. They might plan to enslave all of you, and if they do, how can you possibly stop them? You imagine yourself nude and kneeling at the end of an Imperator's chain. It might happen, or it might not. Quite blasé about the situation, to be fair. Maybe the Imperators don't want you for a slave, or maybe there's some way to change their minds, or to beat them, or, well, something. Still, you can't stop thinking that you might end up as a blissful puppet, and if you do, whom would you rather belong to? And then it gives you an option of Stephen Dominic or Julia Alexander. So we've picked the fact that we're a woman at this point.
Yeah, true.
So I guess the choice really is, do we want straight shit or lesbian shit? Okay, let's go.
You know when you said this could get weird?
Yeah.
I was doubtful. I've been proved wrong in about 5 minutes.
So this is the problem. Because this is just me. This is just a weird sex jack and Aurore. Where I'm just reading you this absurd
Jack off Nori.
Jack off and Nori. Finally, there we go.
Sorry.
Finally, there's a laugh in the podcast. So yeah, I mean,
we wouldn't have this problem if we're dealing with dinosaurs.
Do you think?
Probably.
Yeah.
I feel like there'd be probably less Tolkien-esque backstory being revealed. Yeah. I mean, this has been paragraph after paragraph of world building, which is possibly unnecessary.
Terrible world building.
Okay, I'm gonna skip to the paragraph before each choice, just to see if it becomes tangible.
Did we pick the man alien or the lady alien?
We went lady alien.
Okay.
You look out the window, and now I've reached Mahe. The reporters are arriving and staggered schedule, so each of us has to enter the complex alone. A bit like Big Brother, I guess. It's a daunting proposition. The only choice I've been given in all of this is my point of arrival. They let me pick from 2 entrances.
Here we go.
There we go. And I decided...
I went back door.
It's not an option. Damn it. You'd think that would be low-hanging fruit. They let me pick from 2 entrances. I've decided to enter the Imperator's palace, ... from the front entrance or via the helipad.
That doesn't seem that sexual.
Well, wait and see.
A helipad?
There could be a chopper there.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going helipad. Oh, brilliant. You really are alone as you approach the helipad. The chopper, brilliant. If you can call it a chopper, it's an alien tech like the camera. Doesn't even have a pilot. It flies itself. And then we're going to skip to the choice. Blah, 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 blah. You fly somewhere, and then there's a guy there. Welcome, Elizabeth, says the slave. His voice is bell-like, exquisite but inhuman. Welcome, Elizabeth.
Bell-like.
I don't know. What's a bell?
Hello.
Welcome, Elizabeth. He might be from any English-speaking country on the planet, or he might come from a country with a different native tongue. Who knows? This is reporting at its best.
I can see why they only have a small fan base.
Yeah. Anyone who, yeah, exactly.
Fuck.
It's just a vlogger. Who knows? Anyone who could reprogram his body like this could reprogram his language just as easily. I am a servitor, the man says, and I will serve you as the guide until this evening's press conference. The Imperators have authorized me to escort you through the many parts of the complex and to answer many of the questions you might have. The next option is, you don't want this guy anywhere near you, or you'd be glad to have someone with you, even if he's a slave.
Wow.
So you're making his voice so dulcet and like seductive. I think we might have to stick with him.
Okay, let's stick with him. Okay, we stick with him. Thank you. Oh no, that's me. Thank you, you say. It seems like a good idea to be polite, even if you're not sure whether he can appreciate it. Anyway, he isn't going to attack you, and that relaxes you a little. You think about his offer and how you want to be in your stay on Mahe. The options are, you can see the whole complex from up here, so why not get the lay of the land? Second option, you're a reporter, so why not interview the servitor? Option 3, you just want to go straight to the tour.
Strategy. What do we think is going to most quickly lead to alien boning?
The tour, probably. Or maybe the servitor might get his wang out. I don't think you're going to have surveying the lay of the land unless the lay is upon.
Oh yeah, it could be a suggestive little clue.
I don't think they're clever enough for that. Sorry.
Okay, let's crack on with the tour. There could be some
straight to
alien
the tour.
wangs.
Okay, you say, let's get on with the tour. Yes, ma'am, says the servitor, but that is one thing I'm required to do first. Camera off. The camera emits a small blip, and the lights within it go dark. It continues to hover beside you, but seems inert. You stare at it in consternation. Well done. No one told you the camera could be turned off. Can you shut it down? It would be great if you could, presumably for having a shit. It doesn't say that, I added that. Maybe the servitor can read your expression, or maybe he's just been programmed to answer likely questions. But the camera responds to my commands. Oh no, sorry. The camera responds to my commands, he says. But it won't respond to yours. I've turned it off in order to make a request you might not wish your audience to hear. I am offering you my body for your pleasure.
Yes. There we go.
Ding dong. You gape at him. Surely with you now. A few minutes ago, you thought he might attack you. Now he's going to let you have your way with him. The servitor is perfectly calm. You're not required to say yes. No slave may force a choice upon a free person, unless the free person rebels against the Imperators. In that case, we are programmed to seize control. But as long as you obey the Imperators, I am your property. You may reject my offer, and we will proceed to the tour. Or you may accept my offer. I will be yours to enjoy.
I fucking love that accent. I'll be honest.
I mean,
that's terrific.
Just can't say no to that accent.
Kind of like a Polish robot. It's
Okay,
amazing.
Two options are, why not? You're curious. Second option, you don't want him. He's not your type.
Sounds like my type, I've got to say.
Why not? You're curious. All right, you say, I accept. He gives you a drugged and blissful smile that doesn't show his teeth. Thank you, ma'am, he says. It turns you on to know that you've turned him on. And with just a few simple words looking down, you see that his cock is already rising.
Holy Jesus.
You also see that his... Oh, I forgot the slaves are naked, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Jesus. Well, yeah, she glossed over that. Jesus Christ. You also see that his pubic hair looks sculpted, like the hair on his head. It reminds you of Michelangelo's David. Why?
He's 5 meters tall and has a tiny wang.
Yeah, apparently. Curious, you reach out to touch it. It really isn't hair. What are we doing? But whatever it is, it's warm and yields enticingly beneath your fingers. You trace its walls. What the fuck is that word? WHORLS.
It's like
like wall.
curls.
Yeah, little curlies.
Okay. Should you guys be reading this? No, not about pubes.
I mean, yeah.
Right. It swarms and yields enticingly beneath your fingers. You trace its walls from the root of the servitor's cock to the place where his hair meets its skin. How does that feel, you ask? You're genuinely curious. Wonderful, says the servitor. His voice still bell-like, but it's deeper in pitch now. It's both... what the fuck is this next word? It's both husky and sonorous. Sonorous, sorry.
Okay.
I love this next line. It's both husky and sonorous, like you're stroking my cock. Did you just say cock? Well, it's nice to know a servitor doesn't have to talk like a robot. Miss Kirkland, I can talk any way you want me to. Just tell me what you want to hear. You're my slave. You withdraw your hand and he groans. That your mind and body are at my command. I'm your slave, Mr. Kirkland, he says, and sounds totally sincere. My mind and body are yours to command. Please, ma'am, tell me how I may obey you. See, now the problem is that from this point, it's just going to be a mixture of Polish robots and just porn.
Do you want to skip to the next choice?
I'm gonna just get a little. I'm gonna give you.
Give us a précis of it.
I'll give you a précis, the cliff notes of
something.
What happened. Yeah, blah blah blah. Thank you, mistress. I worship for your generosity. I love you. Playing around with a nipple. There, he's quite attuned to your needs.
Well, he's a slave.
He's going down on you, blah, 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 clitoris, etc., etc. Apparently he's ripped as well. God, his muscles are like rocks. She quotes. Sorry, I mean, I'm just reading this in my head on a podcast now. So basically, he goes down on a blah, blah, blah. It's really detailed.
God, I can see the amount of pages you're flicking through. I'm
ridiculous. Swiping like a
6-7 swipes now.
Yeah.
Still.
Okay, so where do we get to the end? Okay, here we go. They're done. Was it good for you? You joke. Clearly, she's had a good time. Yes, ma'am. It was incredibly good for me. Thank you for accepting my offer. His words take some of the sting out of your fantasy's ending. I mean, we've skipped a bunch of stuff. I'm not sure where the sting has come from. Presumably, he was a little bit rough. Now 2 statues are kneeling beside you with warm, soapy water and towels. By the time you've cleaned yourself, 2 more statues are ready with your clothes. And by the time you've dressed yourself, they've removed every trace of the sex scene. The servitor stands in front of you, and the inert camera hovers off to one side. He reaches out to smooth your hair and straighten your collar. There, ma'am, now you look just as good as you did before I turned off the camera. Are you ready for me to turn it on again? I suppose so, you say. Part of you wants him to stay right here. Part of you wants to stay right with him forever. But that's your fantasy talking. The servitor doesn't really belong to you. He belongs to the Imperators. And when you get right down to it, just like he did,
Hey.
you belong to them too. Camera on, he says, and it blips back to life. You compose your face and smile into the artificial eye. Again, it's a lens. Jesus. I apologise for the interruption, you tell your viewers. We had a brief glitch in the camera. It seems to be fine now. So, servitor, you turn the back to your erstwhile harem slave. Should that be harem? Am I fucking that up?
I think both of them.
Whatever. Where do we start? That's up to you, ma'am. No slave may force a choice upon a free person. I can only point out that 2 exits from the helipad. The cupola? What's a cupola?
No idea.
At the western edge contains an elevator leading to the internal complex. At the eastern edge is a staircase leading to the statue garden and the rest of the grounds. And the options are you want to tour the inside of the complex or you want to tour the grounds.
The choices are really underwhelming. I thought the choices in an erotic choose your own adventure novel would be like,
yeah, keep tugging that, tickle this.
Yeah. As opposed to it's like, which way do you want to go?
Yeah.
It's like,
I mean, if someone had told me one of the options was cupola, I'd have gone, yeah, okay, sounds good. But it turns out it's quite an innate, like, boring choice.
Yeah.
So I think this is a bit of a duffin, to be honest. I think we could have found better. I think you were right. I think we should have gone dinosaurs. This is my mistake.
Hate to say.
That is £2.39 poorly spent.
It's been poorly spent.
I even used the WATcast email, whatcastmail@gmail.com. Feel free to email us to make an Amazon account just so I could buy this stuff without getting recommendations. And the reason for that is A, because I don't want lots of recommendations every time I log into Amazon, which sometimes I do at work. But also because once I clicked on a tweet which led me to a nude painting of Pat Butcher from EastEnders, which was an incredible image. It was like facially accurate. I don't know whether the tits were,
So it's not like
true to life.
A life pose from Pam's and Clements or whatever her actual name is.
Is their actual name?
Wow.
Amazing. Yeah, I don't know whether St. Clement was involved.
For some reason, I imagine them having just like four rows of teats.
And just a number of kittens just feeding.
Yeah.
Suckling.
Yeah, suckling gently. I killed a boy once. Anyway, so then like it led straight to that. So like for a couple of weeks after, it was just like Dean Gaffney clocks and other related, like Phil Mitchell statuette and all of this bullshit. So the last thing I want is fucking Imperator spunk fleshlights or whatever popping up on my. Yeah. So
do you see there's like somebody's made a fleshlight that is basically the hole for the penis is basically on the like a disembodied ankle. It's like somebody's chopped off a foot.
What?
Okay.
Oh wait, no, I have seen that.
Yeah, what the fuck?
It was on,
so someone's been like fantasizing about fucking a disembodied ankle.
Slice off a foot, and then there was like it's the top of this bit. I'm pointing for the listeners.
Specific fetish.
It's
surely.
weird. Like that's foot fetishism. That's an extreme.
That's really, really odd.
It's disembodied ankle fetishism, which I didn't even know was a thing.
But when can that? That's the only way you can. I'd like to think that's the only way you can outlive that. Fantasy,
yeah, I mean, at least people can enjoy that in the comfort of their own home rather than hacking off homeless' feet for their pleasure, I suppose.
Yeah, it's
a bit like shin bones in the real thing. Wouldn't be any fun at all.
There was for some reason when you said, "Oh, have you seen that?" My mind went straight to the eggs from Aliens. Just the top of the egg, just thinking, "Fuck you, Xenomorph!" Just banging it. For some reason, I don't know why.
Wow.
Just punish him.
It'd still be better than Prometheus.
Yeah. The best alien-related thing I bought from Amazon, including Prometheus. Yeah. I think we're disappointed in.
I'm disappointed
in the choose your own erotica alien story.
It's mostly choose which way to walk as opposed to how many fingers.
Also, some of the options I've just skimmed ahead a few pages. One of the options only has one option. So, for example, like some shit's kicked off, presumably. And it says, once you're dressed, the servitor asks what you'd like to do next. And the only option is revisiting the koi goddess probably isn't an option. And that's the one you can choose. I want to go somewhere else, you tell the servitor. Where does this path lead? If we go west, he says, the path will take us to the beach. If we go east, the path leads to the statuary and the stables. Where would you like to go?
You've gone from Polish robot to slightly French robot to kind of Spanish robot now.
I'm just going to nip to the stables just to see what happens. Blah, 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 mountain, blah, 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 stables. Servitor leads you south on the broad dirt path. Eventually it curves towards the west. Oh, no, they feel. Now you see the stables. That's a link for some reason. It's a very weirdly put together piece of literature. Yeah, this is interesting. Ahead of you is a long, wide sward. They've got like a rhyming dictionary or something, haven't they? Just like leafing through shit. And hundreds of thesauri? Yeah. Wide sward, S-W-A-R-D, of beautiful grass ringed by wooden fence. Since you asked to see the stables, you expected to see horses in the pasture, but it's empty. Someone's fucking him somewhere, aren't they?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest.
Alien horse wang. That's what I'm looking forward to.
There's a long, low group of buildings at the edge of a forest. The servitor leads you towards them. When you get a little closer, you begin to hear shouting, multiple variations on "fuck you" and "creepy alien motherfucker" and other sentiments you never expected to hear on Imperator-controlled Mahe. Then a young man comes storming out of the closest building. You recognise him as a reporter for a rival news outlet. But even if you didn't know his face, you'd know he was a reporter because of the camera hovering beside him. He starts towards you and the servitor, but then another man steps out of the building. You recognise him too. He's Imperator Stephen Dominic. He closes his left hand over his right and makes a twisting motion, and the reporter stops dead in his tracks. Assume that means he's broken his neck? What? He closes his left hand over his right and makes a twisting motion. Oh, so he's just made like some telekinesis shit.
Yeah, it's like a little bit of alien hand magic.
I hope to hear more of that. Since he's halfway between you and the Imperator, you get a good look at his face as the anger leaches out of it. Within seconds, he's gone from furious to blissfully vacant. His lips curl in a wide, mindless smile. Then he turns around and drifts back towards the Imperator. When he reaches him, the reporter crumbles to his knees and bends down further until the nose is pressed to the Imperator's boots. He lavishes them with kisses. "Please forgive me, master," he whimpers. Kiss, kiss in italics, presuming it's an action. "I'm so very sorry. I didn't know my place." "You certainly didn't," says Imperator Stephen. That's my Imperator Stephen.
That's pretty good.
"But don't worry, I know your place." He snaps his fingers and two camouflage-painted slaves emerge from the trees. What? They climb the fence, and one of them places a collar around the unlucky reporter's neck. "Now rise," says the Imperator, and the captive obeys. "These two slaves are your new best friends. They will be happy to show you your place." "Thank you, master." The reporter beams as they lead him off. You had frozen pretty much at the same time as the reporter, although not from any compulsion. You hadn't known what to do. But with him out of the picture, you have an unobstructed view of the Imperator, and he has an unobstructed view of you. "Mark?" Hold on, what? Oh, I see, I've fucked it up because I've just clicked on different things, and it hasn't tracked that I'm Elizabeth and not Mark, the male reporter. Oh, wow. So he's just gone straight into presumption. So I'm going to go, "Elizabeth," he says. Oh no, that's the servitor's voice, isn't it?
You've forgotten your Stephen Dominic voice.
I forgot my Stephen Dominic, the Imperator voice. "How nice to see you. I'll take over from here, Servitor. You can go back to the harem." "Thank you." Fucking hell. "Thank you, master." No, hang on. "Thank you, master," he says, and then he fills out on the picture. I don't know what's going on. "Now you're alone with the man who rules the world." Link. Click the link. Oh, fucking hell. Then there's a bunch of stuff. I think you have to suck him off. And then...
Well, he's Imperator Steve Dominic. It would be rude not to.
Let's just go for the choices that sound like you're going to mug him off. So he's gorgeous, master, you say. He's sick. He makes me sick, master, or I'm afraid you're going to do that to me. So which one should we pick out of those?
It's tricky. I mean, we've already sort of satiated some of our sexy times appetite, I suppose. Yeah. And I feel like there's an undercurrent rebellion going on in the background here. I think there's some subtle hints in the background writing, which is suggesting all's not well here, maybe. So I don't know. You could maybe mug him off. I mean, I don't really trust anyone ruling the world called Stephen Dominic. It sounds like a masseuse or something.
It sounds like an 80s electropop artist to me. Like Hall Notes. I'm going to go with I'm afraid you're going to do that to me. But there was a pacification field, which has now dropped away, which is good news. Imperator Stephen pushes back from the gate and shrugs. Of course, he says. It doesn't really matter what you think about him, because he's mine, and I have only myself to please. So, I mean, they're on horseback, by the way. Didn't mention that. And they're on the backs of horse people. So presumably he's transformed some people. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not really thrilled with this literature.
No, should we call
and
it?
I'm sure the audience isn't.
It's just to be honest.
All one of you that's still listening. Hi, Aurora. Good to hear from you.
Let's hope they've learned our lesson of not going down the road of erotic choose your own adventure novel.
I think it's an educational podcast, because until reading that, would have thought maybe let's try out some choose your own adventure erotica. Now we know not to bother.
Yeah,
I think they missed a trick. There should have been some dice rolls there, maybe some stats, maybe some.
Yeah, like you could have ratcheted all of the stats of.
Yeah.
So do you want to put it into stamina, wang length?
Yeah, exactly. So they keep rolling dice.
Endurance.
Yeah. All of those.
Mr. Trick, or Candida fasciitis, or whatever it was.
Regina cantata?
That was it, yeah.
A Regina cantata.
Yeah, A Regina cantatis.
Cantatis, sorry.
Name of the author. Check her out on Amazon.
Or don't.
Definitely don't.
Because that doesn't seem like it's good sci-fi or good erotica or a good choose your own novel.
No, it's missing all of the three promises that it makes based on its nature.
We'll never know how good it could have been if we'd gone down the dinosaur route.
Well, we might do. We could just spend £2.38 on
That's
Amazon.
fair enough.
I think that's really a never know situation. So, for those of you who haven't heard the other two episodes, we have a bowl of searching questions, which we have nicknamed the Bowl of Destiny's Child. And we basically dig them out and pass these around the room when our planned topics of alien erotica ultimately fail miserably, as someone predicted they might. Not bragging, but pretty sure I said that was a bad idea. So, yeah, Pete, you're the guest.
Wow.
Please dig deep into the Bowl of Destiny's Child.
This is quite an honour. Should I read or should I pass it off?
You can read, we'll answer, and you can answer yourself.
I'm going to delve into the deepest, darkest middle of the bowl.
Okay.
I'm unfurling the paper.
It's like a tweet from the past.
Oh, this is a bit brutal.
Okay.
Wow. So, if you had to, what family member would you kill off and why?
Fucking hell.
Okay, I actually have something for this.
Jesus.
Good Lord.
How related do you have to be?
I mean, it's family member. I mean, I
that's
guess
all right, because I'm not close to a lot of them.
Wow, that's a bombshell for some of them that might be listening in. I guess you haven't specified who, but yeah, I mean, you're cool. I guess it's how many...
But I mean, this is if you really had to.
Yeah, exactly. If it was like Cousin Ernest, sort of 7th removed and 15 places.
But I don't, yeah, the thing is I haven't got a very extended family. Like, I don't have any grandparents. I've got an aunt and an uncle on one side and not the other. I've got an uncle on the other side. I wouldn't kill any of them off.
If you had to.
Yeah.
If I had to, I guess one of the cousins, because I just don't know them. Sorry, guys. So, yeah.
You're not naming names, though. Just
No.
a specific one of the cousins.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have like any like exciting vendettas to flesh out this story, but I guess they're the furthest removed from people I know. Sorry, you're dead.
Yeah, I've got a great aunt who's just somewhat of an old cunt.
Jesus Christ.
She really is. I'm sorry. I'm not going to say her name, but she knows who she is. She's just kind of a terrible old woman. She's just rude to everybody. I don't know, like somebody didn't invite them to their wedding a few years ago on account of the cuntitude, and she just raised fucking hell about it for the next 6 months. It's like, you won't get invited to stuff if you consistently act like an old bitch.
I mean, you've reminded me of Curb Your Enthusiasm, where there's a hilarious typo on a beloved aunt headstone. So, just an idea for the future.
Yeah, no, I can see that.
that.
No, she's just kind of a nightmare. She's at my brother's wedding. I made a point of being nice when she turned up and be like, "Oh, hey, how you doing?" And then she said, "Harry, remember who I am?" Then, like, Fuck you then.
Yeah, you're unforgettable, you cunt.
Unbelievable.
Like, seriously, I've gone out of my way to try and be pleasant to you, and the first thing you do is just be bitchy. So, fuck you, Sheila.
Good to get a name check. Who are you murdering? And
Yeah,
why?
fuck that woman.
God, I mean, I've got a similar problem. I've got a tiny wee family. So,
Right. So they're all dear to you.
yeah,
As any family
yeah,
should be.
yeah.
Except for beloved cunts.
I mean, I guess I'd go the similar route and just pop off the eldest. 'Cause,
Yeah,
you know,
they've had a good run.
yeah, give the leaf a chance. Sorry, Janice, you're the oldest. Still love you.
Last in, first
Gotta
out. We've had that one. That's a shame. Right, so I'm delving deep now. Sorry, Tom. Just decided.
No, get in there.
Okay, it's a weird question, but it might work. Have you ever had something happen to you that you thought was bad, but it turned out to be for the best? I mean, my first thought of that is just like breakups, because every breakup's like, Jesus, this is the worst thing in the world.
Yeah,
I will never love again, said Imperator Stephen Dominic. But he found a new slave, so he's fine. No, but it's like you always just like, oh God, this shit, it's never gonna. And then you know, once you find someone else, or you decide, or all of your friends tell you it was a terrible idea in the first place, and they've been holding that back for 3 years, then you realise it's a good thing. I can't think of another specific instance of things like that.
Most things that at first appear bad turn out to be bad.
I really don't like mustard, but I do like mustard.
Actually, that's just happened to me recently. Never
Okay.
liked mustard, then recently quite like mustard.
Yeah, I've got into that American mustard where I never liked it before.
Yeah, it's not too bad, is it?
It's all right. Yeah.
Yeah. That's not really a bad thing that happened to us. It's just a flavour we didn't like.
Peet, any disasters that have turned out to be bloody brilliant?
I mean, so many disasters. I'm just trying to track whether any of them actually led to anything good. I mean, so much went wrong, and yet here I am. So I guess just my entire
Perseverance.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah. I mean, there's plenty of things really. You can track tons of stuff back. Like I remember dropping out of my A levels like an idiot because I decided to go around to my friend Paul's house and smoke Super Kings instead of
Right.
actually turning up for a lesson.
Right.
And then tried to cover with I was looking at colleges because it was the first thing that popped into my head. And then they tried to help me look, so I ended up at art school.
And here you are, an artist.
Here I have a career.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, every breakup is just bullshit, and just
Until it's not.
until it's not, and you realise that it was all good.
Yeah.
I think the only sort of useful thing I can say to listeners out there is chin up.
Yeah. It's not an agony aunt podcast.
Yeah, exactly.
You're right.
I lack the relevant skills and experience.
So do most agony aunts. So.
Apart from Deirdre, obviously.
This is a shit and I'm going to veto.
Beloved Deirdre.
Which habits of other people drive you crazy? Which habits of other people
That's
drive
really
you
loud
crazy?
now.
My microphone's
Habits.
drooping, like so many cocks.
What after that? After those stories? Oh, I'm going to edit that out. That's
Sorry.
fine.
Slowness is my one. I find sloth of any variety to be fucking maddening. I walk quickly.
Oh yeah, walking.
I just do everything really, really quickly. I'm a
I have
rusher.
heard that about you.
Thanks. Just efficient, mate.
In, out, get it done.
No, I just find slowness in every regard just fucking so annoying. We're having to wait for other people to do things when I know I could do it 10 times quicker. I find
about
it
lovemaking?
brutally annoying. Love making, you can take your time over.
Okay. So not all things.
But once you've been in the relationship after a while, everybody knows what they're up to. You can get that shut done relatively quickly and get back to dinner.
Why have you interrupted? Doesn't matter. Yeah, pet hates. That's a good one though. Yeah, I would have picked that. And the thing is, I'm doing it right now. I'm sniffing. Normally, I hate people sniffing. I have no way of wiping my nose. I'm just checking pockets. It's not going to help. Yeah, fail. Normally, yeah, it's just people who just sniff all the time. People who just don't have a solution to like personal tics or don't address them. Yeah, Yeah, I don't know. What's the question?
Which habits do people... Forgetfulness. Fucking annoying.
Yeah, it's really... I fucking hate it when people do that. Tom, right? Yeah.
Yeah, that's the guy.
Yeah, I don't know. Habits. Yeah, I don't know. My girlfriend makes a really weird noise, which is quite an annoying habit, but I've got used to it. She does this... I'm sure she's not listening. So she does this weird noise where she goes... and she's like, oh, I'm scratching my throat. I'm like, what do you mean? She's like,
Right.
It's like when she first did it, is when we first got together, and it was, as anything is when you first get together, there's lots of sort of, just being in bed a lot of the time, sleeping, staying over and stuff. And like, we just went to sleep once, and then I was woken up by this noise of like, like this horrendous noise. And I was like, oh my God. And I thought she was choking on something. So I sort of grabbed her and shook her and sort of banged on her chest or something mental like that. And she's like, what the fuck are you doing? I was like, I think you're choking. She's like, oh no, I'm just scratching my throat. I'm like, what? That's not a thing that anyone does. And then about 2 years later, like we met one of our friends who's like, who heard it, and like one of our other friends, Gemma, she was like, oh, Penny, do that weird thing that you do. And she was like, oh, okay. And do the thing. And then our friend Carly was like, oh no, I do that as well. I was like, what the fuck is this weird like alien sisterhood that you two belong to? Yeah, that's a weird habit that's kind of annoying, because she just has to do it at random weird times. It's like, oh. But yeah, apart from that,
Incredible. Wow.
Weird noises.
I've got nothing anywhere near that specific.
No, that is quite specific.
I mean, I guess not so much slowness, but obliviousness. He says as he nearly falls off his chair. That's so incredibly perfect.
Oblivion.
Yeah, it's not people being slow when I'm out and about. It's just when groups of 7 or 8 people decide to stop.
Yeah.
And fill the entire pedestrian.
Yeah,
walkway.
just being aware of your surroundings is infuriating.
Yeah, it takes like a split second to think that somebody
might be behind you.
Want to walk.
Yeah,
past there.
Yeah,
So
it drives me absolutely
fuck
nuts.
all those people. Fuck them all to hell.
Fuck stopping.
Yeah.
Agreed. Just step to the side. There's a perfectly good side of the pavement you could stop.
Yeah, you don't all need to spread out and create a human blockade that is impassable.
It's also just people who will just stop in the street because like, oh. And they've thought of something, and they're clearly just like, and then they're sort of looking around. You're like, do I go around? And then they carry on, and you've got that kind of like tracking. Like whenever I walk to the train station in the morning, there's always like, do I go around you or do I not? And when I go around you, how prissy and bitchy do I want to seem in my pace as I go past? It's like,
I just blast through them at speed with the.
Yeah, peasants.
Yeah.
Fuck them. I tend towards terrible apologetic behaviour around the one. Sorry.
That's because you're ultimate British gent. That's what we all should do. Whose bit is it? Your pick?
Pete's dip.
Back in the bowl.
Back in the bowl.
Let's see. Actually, this one's incredibly fat. So I feel like that's actually maybe been miscut.
That's one of my hated habits, actually. Fat people.
Stop eating.
Stop eating. Solved.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, true enough, it's very unhealthy. There's a big thing about like fat acceptance at the moment, which I'm finding confusing because obesity will kill you.
Yeah, I don't.
Well, there are some people who are like fat but healthy. Like,
yeah,
the people who are like, but kind of like they're carrying extra weight, but they're basically in shape. Because I look all right, but I'm in horrible shape.
My body's a tomb.
Yeah, no, it's a fucking wreck underneath this attractive shell. Wow. There's nothing.
I was going to say, no clues.
Yeah, no, I can't run 100 meters without gasping horribly.
Yeah, I feel the same. I feel like I'm gangrenous from the inside out. It's like. I don't look fat. I think like all the crap I've eaten is just filled my arteries instead of going on as like layers of fat.
Right, it's going.
Yeah,
I just stopped.
Right, shall I read this?
Yeah, do it.
Hit it.
Oh my goodness! Wow.
Unless it's a shit one, in which case you can veto.
This is pretty good. I think if your house was on fire and you could grab only 3 things before leaving, what would they be?
Okay, so we're going to lay down a ground rule that people are out.
Yeah. They can take care of themselves.
Yeah, fuck them.
Yeah.
No, let's say they've already got out.
Yeah.
Let's say the pets have got out as well.
Yeah, because pets would be an obvious pick.
Yeah, probably. I've only got 1 cat, but it's still taking up a slot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can lob him out the window. He's fine.
Yeah, I mean, they land on their feet, don't they? So,
Mostly. Although, in our old place, the neighbours above us had a three-legged cat, so evidently it doesn't always work.
No.
It was cool. We called it Tripod.
Little tripod.
Yeah, it's great, though, because you know how a cat will sort of walk up to you and sort of lean its head in and rub against you? He would do that, but he'd instantly sort of fall forward and rub his head along the floor.
That's fucking adorable.
What a ledge. Okay, 3 things.
3 things.
Tom, your pick.
Oh, God. 3 things. I'm going to struggle.
We could do one each at a time if you
Yeah,
want.
I'm just trying to think. I don't know, maybe my DVD copy of The Bad Sleep Well, because it's...
I didn't see that coming.
It's really good.
Not a family photo album.
I don't really have much of that. It's all all that kind of stuff's on my parents, really. So I don't really have many photos of people. I don't know. I've got like a trove of old like love letters and stuff like that would probably be kept, because that's just kind of irreplaceable stuff. That's a bit sappy, but there it is.
Yeah,
good call.
It's a good call. I don't have anything like that. I have anything sentimental nature. I'd probably. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about like photos and stuff, but they're all sort of reproducible. So sort of like, why would you bother?
Well, in the age of digital photos, it's a bit different, isn't it? It's not like irreplaceable with a lot of this stuff. It's like cloud storage kind of does away with that whole notion.
Yeah.
I don't have much in the way of like, I have lots of stuff that's like worth something, but they're not like a sentimental value worth something. There's a few things like I inherited from my grandmother, like a particularly nice like Cartier lighter I wouldn't mind.
Probably started the fire in the first place.
Yeah,
to be fair.
probably.
Fucking thing.
Sorry, it's a DuPont. It's very fit.
I don't have good answers for this at all. I'd probably grab things that I like that it would be hard to buy again, which sounds really dumb, but just like gifts that I've given the missus or something that's like, oh, that's a thing that we probably would want to keep or whatever, or have forever, like jewelry or something like that. So number 1, jewelry. That's my pick. Pete?
Torn between a few things, I suppose, on similar lines. I mean, there's my favourite guitar, but I mean, it wouldn't be particularly difficult to get another one, I suppose, but they are a bit hard to find. But I don't know, I guess like I actually do have like a little collection of like old photos of my grandma and stuff, and some old love letters, which also happen to be in the same sort of black executive satchel that all my sort of bank records and receipts are in. And I'm terrified of getting audited, so I'd probably grab that, because without the evidence... I think you're going to say I'd be terrified of grabbing the wrong one in some hilarious airport thriller where someone picks up the same identical suitcase. Oh wow, yeah.
In the fire. I think do check. Yeah, I know it's important to get out in time, but do check.
Take a few seconds to check.
You don't want to get out and go grandma and say like, oh, P45 or whatever.
Just RBS statements. Yeah. Brilliant. But they're luckily in the same one, so I'd probably grab that because it's like a 3-in-1 really. So that's a bonus. Yeah, true. I'm going back to your instruments thing for my second one, just to dive in front of Tom. I'd grab Tom out if he was in there.
Oh, that's nice. I'm a person, so I've got myself out.
Yeah, you've got yourself out.
So if you happen to be inanimate at that particular point in time.
Yeah.
If you drugged me.
If you were drunk with a burnt candle in your palm, you passed out and set the house on fire, I'd go, fuck it. It's his fault. And you wouldn't be around to ask why you died anyway. Anyway, I'd probably grab my Yamaha DX100 just because it's hard to replace.
Yeah, that's true.
A good synth. And then the other ones, probably grab my Parker Fly because she's pretty.
You still got that thing?
Yeah, still got it. Cool. Cheers. Still got it. Okay, what's your other 2?
Oh, I don't know if I could scrape together. I mean, my 18th birthday present from my folks was like an original Annie Hall poster from 77.
Is that a bar mitzvah gift?
I gave you bar mitzvah a bit earlier than 18, but I've never been bar mitzvahed.
What?
Yeah.
We've got to do
I'm not
live
a
on the
real
podcast.
Jew. I'm a terrible, terrible Jew. You must know this.
You're not a real Jew?
I'm not a real Jew.
But we've been teasing you for years.
Well, I'm technically, in terms of it being like a sexually transmitted disease, I'm a Jew, but I'm not like a religiously inducted Jew.
Okay.
In the sense that my mother is Jewish, I'm a Jew. That's the extent of my Jewiness.
Can we lift you up on a chair at my wedding?
That would be awesome.
Okay, let's do that.
Will you stamp a light bulb when you get married?
I won't.
Yeah, why
But
not?
you can stamp up one.
Aren't you slightly Jewy as well?
No.
Really?
No, it's just a
just
shit
the name.
nose. Just a shit nose.
But you look so Jewy and your name's got gold in it. How are you not Jewish?
It's not that. So the nose comes from my mum's side, where my granddad was Jewish.
So you got some Jew in you?
Yeah, like a tinge.
A thimbleful.
Yeah, just a little.
Symbol of Jew.
Yeah, we're quite conservative with our. Yeah, soupçon of you. That's too easy. But then the Goldstone, like the surname, clearly giving that away. It's on my dad's side.
Is there anything with gold in it? You just assume Jew.
Yeah, it's not true.
Yeah.
Pete, you've got one more thing to rescue from the flames.
I'm torn between a little music box my best friend gave me,
Sweet.
which you can spin around and it plays Ode to Joy,
Awesome.
and my Beagle mug that a friend got me for my birthday, which I'm quite fond of.
Well, I mean, pop the music box in the mug.
Yeah,
out.
I mean that's the thing. It's a helpful container for small items.
That's it. You've chosen wisely.
Thank you very much.
Cool.
Cool. I think we're done. Right, back into the bowl of destiny. Oh, I've got quite a fat one here. Let's hope Will doesn't discriminate against it.
Oh, well. Blame society. It's not my fault.
Nah, it's gash. I'm not doing that.
Next, here's another fatty for you. What was it?
It was. I just don't think it's that entertaining. It's if you're
did you listen
reincarnated
to the
as
first half an hour of this podcast?
if you were reincarnated as an animal, stroke drink, stroke ice cream flavour, what would it be?
That's
Do
mental.
they have to be combined in some sort of?
Well, it
really
seems to be
difficult-
saying or not. I hope it couldn't be one at the same.
An animal what? Animal drink ice cream.
Yeah.
flavour?
Rum
I would-
barber.
Yeah, I would be a leopard Mountain Dew vanilla. But I mean, I'm just naming the shit I like.
Yeah,
Right, next question.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
There's
it's
limited
problematic.
amount of entertainment that can come from that.
Yeah, that is all of it.
If you could know the answer to any question besides what is the meaning of life, what would it be?
Oh, for fuck's sake.
It's all this deep shit, isn't it? Right, this is good radio.
Yeah. That was the sound of thinking live.
It's far too contemplative a question. I don't know. What are tomorrow's lottery numbers? That'd be a pretty good one to know.
Yeah, I suppose you could
Yeah.
use it to your
But
advantage.
that's a bit of a like Marty McFly going to get the almanac.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. Actually, like a kind, not a long lost relative of mine, but like I think it's my mum's granddad disappeared off a cruise ship in like the 1920s in like high mysterious circumstances. So I'd like to know what happened with that. That'd be kind of cool to know.
Okay,
It's
that's
like a
quite
family
interesting.
mystery.
Oh, right.
Yeah, like he was suspected of having an affair, and then he was on a cruise ship to somewhere, and then just disappeared. And
It wasn't in the Seychelles, was it?
I don't think it was the Seychelles. I don't think he only went to. Yeah, so obviously it's suspected that he threw himself off the ship, but there's always been like rumours of, was there someone waiting with a boat to get him? Was he running off with his mistress? Just
Right.
disappeared off.
Would
a
you
boat
be
in-
annoyed if the alien who was answering you just went, yeah, he fell off, didn't
Yeah, be nice to know though, wouldn't it?
he? Yeah, you could settle that once and for all. I don't have any burning questions. All I can think of is things that I've lost over the years. I'm like, where the fuck did that go? Like when I was a kid, I had a toy gun, and like one day it just disappeared.
Your
I'm
mum
like,
took it because you
exactly.
didn't approve of
I'm
guns.
pretty sure it's just my mum took it and said, "Nah, bin that."
I do remember when that's one of the first times I went round to your house. You had like an air rifle, and
I had
you
loads of
basically
guns as a
said that
kid.
you had just
They're
killed
great.
every small animal within about 100 yards of your house.
So this is on top of the hundreds of knives that you're.
I mean, this has
Yeah.
been inflated into an arsenal now.
This is fucking Columbine Will.
No, just like as any.
quite a lot of weapons.
Yeah, it's quite like
I
weapons.
had no knives, no guns.
I had 2 pistols, a nice Webley, and a BSA, which is still like the most powerful pistol you can get because it's got like a rifle chamber. It's huge. It's for Olympic shooting. For some reason we got it, but it's cool. It looks like it's just this weird designed thing that looks. It's a BSA Scorpion, I think it was. But it just looks like something out of a Tim Burton Batman. It's really weird. This handle is like a weird kind of like, I don't know, some sci-fi shit. And then, a couple of air rifles and a 10-4 shotgun.
It's like a Webley that you get in Call of Duty 2.
No.
Damn it.
Maybe. I don't know.
Like an old school revolver looking thing.
No, it was a weird little thing. It was like a round barrel and
it's just like Webley's name, like a classic pistol that was in. It's like one of your sidearms in Call of Duty 2.
It's probably the same make, but
Back when Call of Duty was awesome.
Yeah. Don't tell Aurora that. Again, what was the question?
Ice cream.
Do you ever think we're running out of steam on the podcast?
What makes you say that?
It was a question of
Any question? Is that your question? Is this podcast running out of steam?
The answer is definitely. Okay, right. I'm going to do one more question. Unless, have you got an amazing question you want answered?
Nothing useful that I would ask. It would be just pointless bullshit, I think.
This is the name of the podcast.
That will be a change. Jeez. Okay, the final dip into the bowl of Destiny's Child for the end of episode 9 of WATcast. I don't know where this is going to go, really, but what was your favourite food when you were a child?
Oof.
Like Finder's crispy pancakes, pretty good.
But they always just burned the shit out of every surface of your mouth.
Yeah, I mean, they're terrible food, but I remember them quite fondly.
Is that the one with the little oozy shit in the middle?
Like an Uzi.
All about the guns.
Yeah, sorry.
I don't know, mini chicken Kievs I'm still very fond of. What with the garlicky centre, they're pretty good.
Okay. No, mine was always sausage pie. That's why I was a fat kid.
Sausage pie?
Yeah, it's
like a pie made
awesome.
of sausage.
You get sausage meat, and then you get pickle, like just the brown bits of Branston pickle. Mix it all up, chopped onion, mix that all up, and then just pop it in pastry, bake it. Sausage pie. It's fucking delicious.
That sounds brutal.
That sounds terrible.
And then serve it with something healthy like boiled potatoes. This was my childhood.
This is every American stereotype of English cooking.
Yeah. But it was just like, when I was a kid, all of the meals were just like, a basic sort of old-fashioned-y things, because my dad just didn't want any, food that he'd not seen before.
I can kind of imagine.
Yeah, you can imagine that shit, right?
My mum's like a real good cook and made in, I don't know, I can't remember what my absolute favourite was. I just remember her making a bunch of good stuff, but still just wanting mini chicken Kievs because I'm a little savage.
Well, yeah, there's the thing. So when I went round to friends' houses, they had, exotic things like turkey burgers and chips. Yeah. Imagine that.
Yeah, my
still winning that foreign muck.
It's basically the phrase that he used. So this is the reason why I didn't know pizza until I went to uni.
What?
Didn't have pizza.
This can't be real.
It's true. Never had pizza.
I think we had pizza quite late. I mean, my parents are very Scottish, so it was basically deeply Scottish, which involves just anything that's under £1 from Iceland deep fried. So, a couple of years ago, I did introduce them to couscous, which they're quite excited by the world of couscous now, because I've shown them that it's not a pain in the ass to cook.
Wow.
I think pasta came into their lives at some point in the late 90s.
Interestingly, couscous is a pasta.
Well, yeah. Well, that's a fact.
Right.
That's a pasta fact.
I thought it was a grain for ages. It's not.
Well, it's semolina or something, isn't it?
Well, it's not a grain. It's literally just very, very small bits of pasta.
All right.
Really?
Yeah, that's all couscous is. It's basically the same recipe of just very micro pasta.
I always thought it was fat semolina.
But what was your favourite food when you were a kid?
Probably bolognese.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I don't know.
Pete.
Difficult to remember, isn't it?
You used to get these terrible 20p chocolate mousses that were frozen. They came in a little circular tub.
I think I know what you mean.
I used to quite like those.
That.
I think they're illegal now because they're just chemicals. It's like some weird frozen foam that was chocolate flavoured.
Yeah, I think I know what you mean.
Yeah.
It just reminds me of a sea of desserts that you don't get anymore.
Yeah.
But I discovered the other day that you can get some of them, because I remember things like Arctic Roll was a mainstay in my house when I was a kid.
That used to be something.
Or the ice magic is the chocolate sauce you put on ice cream and then it turns hard.
Oh yeah,
that stuff is pretty good.
That's pretty amazing. Yeah,
it tasted terrible.
The time of Gino Ginelli ice cream.
Oh god, yeah,
shit like that. Now we're just reminiscing about 90s foods.
Yeah.
The horrors. The horrors.
But yeah, that seems like a good place to wrap up the disappointment that was WATcast episode number 9. You can find us at whatcast.net. You can join us on Twitter at WATcast. You can email us at whatcastmail@gmail.com. Or you can do none of those things.
Have we had any reader mail yet?
No, just a bunch of Amazon things saying, "How did you rate Alien?" Whatever that.
Please, people, write us in and give us something to talk about.
Yeah.
We need some listener mail.
If you're out there and you've made any erotic fiction that you're particularly proud of,
Yeah.
especially if it's in the choose your own adventure genre,
Send it in.
Get in touch. Yeah.
This is episode 9, and seemingly every 5 episodes we delve into the world of shit magazines. So I feel like episode 10 is as good a place as any to delve back into
Breaking Mags Part 3.
Part 3. So look forward to some hilarity from the pages of Chat, Take a Break. That's life. Real people. And perhaps Spirit and Destiny next
Spirit
week.
Destiny was a great call.
That needs to come
I really
back.
enjoyed that. Yeah.
We haven't revisited how lucky Aurora has been since touching Chat's lucky key either.
Yeah, or indeed her prayer to Archangel Raphael.
Yeah. Whose help she needed. Yeah. Cool. Well, look forward to that next week, and we will see you then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.